My name is Mario, and my opponent is Helen Madsen, and her main claim was that women in today's workforce still need to exercise feminist theory in order to pursue workplace and job equality. Her secondary claim was first, that the glass ceiling is still in effect and negatively affects certain groups, and in this case it's women. And secondly, that for women in the workforce, the choice to bear children can negatively affect their careers. So my response to her claims was her first claim was that although the glass ceiling hasn't been fully broken, it is deteriorating and there is signs of progress. And to her secondary claim, is that the choice of bearing children does affect women's careers, but because it's a choice to have kids, not like they're forced to have kids at any age. So my response to claim one is that she used evidence of a Heidi Howard experiment where there was the same information given to two groups of people, and one of them was from a guy named Howard and from Heidi. But it was like the same information. But Howard, because he was male, was actually seen as more confident and more leader-like. So in a study that happened in 2011 by the University of California, found out that there was actually a flaw in the experiment. That they surveyed 60,000 people, and even though the study had showed that male leader was preferred, which is consistent to what the experiment showed, the study had also showed that people who actually had female managers did not give them lower ratings than people who had male managers. That is, though many people preferred male managers in theory, in practice, those gender biases didn't really work out. So that showed that even though male leaders preferred that there was actually no discrepancies when they rated their male managers or female managers. And the advocate used a quote that says, "Women aren't making it to the top of any profession." But it's kind of misleading, because even though gender distribution in top jobs isn't as equal as anyone would like or people would want, there actually is women up there, like Indra Nooyi, who's the CEO of PepsiCo, or Marissa Mayer, who's the president of Yahoo. In 2016, Forbes had even stated that there's in the top 10 most powerful people that in the world, that Angela Merkel, who is the Chancellor of Germany, was actually in the top 10. And my response to her second claim was she actually used a quote that said promotion and possibility for growth within a company decreases significantly if a woman decides to have a child. The reason is because in the United States alone, maternity leave is about 12 weeks, which is about 3 months. Being absent for about a fourth of the year can negatively affect anyone's job. And the woman or the mother in waiting is on her maternity leave, but her job still has to be done by something else. So the reason for her not being able to get her promotion in time is while she's gone, someone else is actually doing her job for her, or someone else is doing the job that needs to be done at the time. And then my opponent had also used brought up that Sweden has a maternity leave that's about 480 days, which kind of negatively affects her argument, because there's no way that we'd be able to compare Sweden maternity leave to the United States maternity leave, because in Sweden they have an income tax that's about 57%, while here in the United States for the highest income bracket it's only 39.6. So that we can't really, they have a high income tax because they have to support their prolonged maternity leave, and in the United States we actually won't be able to ever, not anytime soon, be able to reach that capacity for leave, because the Pew Research Center had conducted a survey in April 2017 that 56% of Americans had actually felt that the taxation system in the United States was either not fair at all or not too fair. So you can't really compare the two things, since the two countries, because they can't be similar and they'll never be able to get to the same level. And to conclude, that the glass ceiling has been broken, or not been broken completely, but there's signs of progress, and that women who do go on maternity leave, they do get their careers affected, but because of their choice to have their kids.
All right, the structural stuff at the beginning is all pretty good. You have counterclaims that you're going to be presenting. You don't, have to present all of them at the beginning, but when you present those claims and you don't provide the evidence, I know it's really a preview that's going on here, but it gets a little bit confusing. You go to criticism of the Heidi Howard study, and really it doesn't sound like it's talking about the same study. It sounds like it's talking about a different study, which has a different result, which is fine. So I'm not sure, I think the way you want to present this is maybe to offer it as a counterexample as opposed to a critique of that particular research. Just say, other information has actually found the exact opposite is true, that although people may express a preference for a supervisor that's a male, the truth is that there's no significant difference perceived by them whether they have a male or female supervisor. That's what your claim is, and just let's keep it at that instead of trying it into the other study, which it doesn't really sound like it's relevant to. I like a couple of counterexamples that you have mentioning women in charge of major companies. You also mention on the political realm that we have people who are significantly involved there. I think that that's reasonable to suggest. By the way, I don't know that the Advocate provided us with any statistical criteria as to what is appropriate or effective. And I don't think anybody disputes that there were differences in the way the world was run 40 or 50 years ago than the way it is run today. But the notion that people are blocked because of that, that's the thing that I think the Advocate is talking about, and that's the thing that I think you need to come to grips with a little bit more. On the second point, where you're talking about the issue of choosing to be a mother becomes a problem, you kind of come back to this issue and say, well, it is a choice. Nobody can deny that if you're going to miss time at work, it's likely to have an impact on your career. That is inherent. That's an inherent risk of deciding to have a child. You can choose not to have a child and have the career, and there's no particular problem. Having it all is one of the things that gets a little complicated, and one of the reasons why this one perspective on feminism is run into problems, because people do want to have families and they want to have careers, and it's the combination of those things that may have slowed things down rather than some institutionalized issue that's going on there. And I think you put it a little bit in perspective. Maybe the language is less elegant than it might be. I know mine was less elegant than it could have been just now, but that's the idea that you're presenting there. I thought that was reasonable. And I do think that the criticism of the comparison to Sweden is okay. I don't know how important it is, but suggesting that they're substantially different places, the tax issue becomes a problem for comparative purposes. And I think you could recognize that, look, cultures are different and they have different value systems. And our value systems are probably not going to be supportive of a 57% tax rate.